Like the good Muslims who left their homes to fight jihad for Muhammad, Hitler had helpers too. Mein Kampf 7:30. And how these boys stood up. Like a swarm of hornets they stormed upon the mockers at our meeting, incurring wounds and making sacrifices, so that they made a path for the holy mission of our movement. Mein Kampf 7:47. The boys of the storm troop performed their duty. They attacked like wolves. Our opponents learned a lesson they will never forget. This is reminiscent of the 8th surah, which says,
"Inflict upon them such a defeat as will be a lesson for others, that they may be warned."
And the hadith, which substituted one pest for another.
Ishak, "The Muslims stole our goods and divided them. Their spears pierced us not once, but twice. Their squadrons came at us like a swarm of locusts. Were it not for the religion of Muhammad's people, their cavalry would have never attacked us."
Hitler dedicates a number of pages to his personal involvement in choosing the Nazi colors, black and red, symbolizing deceit and blood, and his swastika. The Fuhrer's fixation with his flag was no different than the Prophet's fixation on his war banners, which he told us were white, black, and red. Mein Kampf 7:33. They became a symbol for the fight of the future. It had the effect of a flaming torch. Just as Muhammad usurped the concept of war banners from his pagan ancestor Qusay, Hitler recycled an old tradition. Mein Kampf 7:36. The swastika had been used as a symbol of the Germanic religion by folkish groups in primitive cults. Even in the details they were indistinguishable. This next passage encapsulates Muhammad's reason for founding Islam. Mein Kampf 7:52. Destiny chooses the man, and destiny gives him the final victory. Dissatisfied with the religious life of his people, he longs for a renovation. Based upon his inspiration, he is called upon to present a solution for this religious distress, appearing like a prophet of a new doctrine and as a fighter against the existing ones. There is no more effective means to rule people than to claim that you are called to be God's prophet, and then to mix your poison with the passion of a pugilist.
Ishak, "Get out of his way, you infidel unbelievers. Every good thing goes with his apostle. O Lord, I believe in his word. I know all is truth in accepting it. We will fight you about its interpretations as we have fought you about its revelation, with strokes that will remove heads from shoulders and make enemies of friends."
This Hitlerism could be Quranic. Mein Kampf 7:52. The strongest man is chosen for the fulfillment of the great mission. One man is the one who is exclusively called upon. They have the purest faith in their own mission. They consider themselves obliged to go their own way, without considering others. Nature herself, in her inexorable logic, makes the decision by prompting fights, and by leading the movement to the goal that has been chosen, by the shortest and surest way.
Koran 59, verse 6, "Allah gives his messenger lordship and power over whomever he wills." Koran 49, verse 7, "And know that among you is Allah's messenger. Were he to follow your wishes, you would fall into misfortune."
By promising Valhalla, a seductive, pagan, and hedonistic paradise, to those who sacrifice their lives for the cause, the second tyrant mirrored the first. Mein Kampf 7:68. It is certain that each hero who comes forward voluntarily and dies the sacred death of martyrdom climbs the steps to Valhalla. This is no different than
Koran 4:74, "Let those who fight in the cause of Allah sell the life of this world for the hereafter. To him who fights in the cause of Allah, whether he is slain or gets victory, soon we shall give him a great reward."
Speaking of the Germans who rejected him, Hitler's never-ending argument replicates Mohammed's. Mein Kampf 768. They are scum, rabble, deserters and pimps who shunned the light, hyenas, freeloaders, thieves and duty shirkers, traitors and an undisciplined gang of looters, criminals and evil rabble. But alas, even Hitler had to outmaneuver and threaten the peaceful hypocrites. Mein Kampf 756. Some people merely pretend that they are fighting for the same goal, but they do not honestly place themselves into the ranks of our movement.
Koran 8, verse 5. Your Lord ordered you out of your homes to fight for the true cause, even though some Muslims disliked it and were averse to fighting. They argued with you concerning this matter, even after it was made clear to them. It was as if they were being driven to their death.
Der Führer was as humble as der Prophet. Mein Kampf 763. One must never forget that everything that is actually great in this world has not been fought for and won by coalitions, but always by the success of one individual victor. The religious state will never be created by compromise, but only by the steel-hard willpower of one sole movement, which has struggled its way against all others.
Koran 48, verse 1. Verily, we have granted you, Muhammad, a splendid victory. Verse 8. We have truly sent you, Muhammad, as a witness and as a warner, in order that you men may believe in Allah and His Messenger, and that you may assist Him and honor Him, and celebrate His praise morning and evening.
Islam and Nazism seduced a sufficient number of men to become popular enough to build a coercive military force. Both usurped pagan traditions to condition adherents and then established absolute authority over them. Mein Kampf 765. If popularity and force unite, then authority can be established more solidly upon tradition. When popularity, force, and tradition combined, authority becomes unshakable. This is Islam in a nutshell. Writing words that would come to haunt the world 15, and then again 77 years after they were scribed by Hitler's hand, we discover. Mein Kampf 787. Terror which is derived from a religion can never be broken by a formal state power. It will only succumb to a new view of life that proceeds with equal boldness and determination. The state may, for centuries, apply the strongest means of power against a terror by which it is threatened, but in the end it will be powerless and will succumb. Hitler and Mohammed were unaware of a power stronger than hate, and of a tool more effective than terror. That force is love, and its implement is truth. And that is how we must fight terror, which is derived from a religion. We must love the victims of Islam enough to free them from deceit. By emancipating mankind from Mohammed's legacy, we free ourselves from its scourge. But Hitler was right in a way. Nations like America are unable to break the back of religious terror. We are unwilling to confront a religion. But by not understanding the source of the terrorist rage, we eliminate them far more slowly than the religion manufactures new ones. And even if we were to shed our ignorance, conventional defensive and offensive military tactics are counterproductive. Offensively, massive armaments and air superiority only prevail against conventional forces. Terrorists scatter, lying in wait to strike another day. And defensively, the freedoms we usurp from our citizens under the guise of homeland security only serve to create the totalitarian climate in which religious terrorists thrive. While there is good news, I'm afraid it may be too late. To combat religious terror, we don't have to become like them, as Hitler attests. All we have to do is come to understand the deceit that drives men to such madness. Collectively, if we were to see Mohammed and his terrorist dogma Islam as we now see Hitler and Nazism, we would win the war on terror by freeing Muslims from Islam. Light extinguishes darkness, and courageous sacrificial love overwhelms fear, hate, and terror.